Hi, fight fans, and welcome back to LL Sports TV. Hope you're all doing well. Now, perhaps the most intriguing fight on the Riyadh card this Saturday, the main fight being the Dillian Whyte versus Moses Itauma clash. But on the undercard is a very intriguing fight, and it pits the experience of Filip El Animal Hrgovic of Croatia. He will be taking on the younger, powerful British opponent David Big D Adeleye. Now, this fight is what I would call a significant crossroads fight for both men. Hrgovic will be looking to reassert himself in the world rankings and in the world title picture, whereas David Adeleye will be seeking to prove he belongs at world title level. But before we get into it, as I like to do, a quick look at the two fighters, starting with what most people would assume is a clear favourite, Filip Hrgovic. Now, Filip Hrgovic, he's 33 years old now, no spring chicken. He comes from Zagreb in Croatia. He was an outstanding amateur. He was a Croatian national heavyweight champion. He represented his country on many occasions. He won a European gold medal at the European Championships in 2015. He followed that up the following year with an Olympic bronze medal in the Rio Olympics. He turned professional in 2017, and to date he has 19 professional fights, 18 wins, 14 by KO. He has just the one loss. That was to Daniel Dubois back in, I think it was June 2024 in Riyadh. Daniel Dubois stopped him in 8 rounds on cuts. Now, in terms of Filip Hrgovic's strengths, I would say that going into this fight, his main strength and advantage of Adeleye would be his extensive experience. He's very experienced as both an amateur and a professional, but he's also very good technically. I mean, he's a big guy. He's 6'6". He's got a good jab, long jab, which he likes to use a lot, and he likes to bring the right hand in behind that, and he also throws a decent uppercut and hooks. But yeah, so he's good technically, good fundamentals. He's also a big, strong guy, physically strong, very durable, got a great chin. Apparently, he's never been dropped either as an amateur or a professional. I think I'm right in saying that. And he's been in with some of the biggest punchers in the division. And he's been in with the likes of Zhili Zhang, who's a noted big puncher. He's been in with Joe Joyce as a big puncher. He's also been in with Daniel Dubois, as I said earlier. None of those guys have been able to drop him. Yes, Daniel Dubois did beat him, did stop him, but it was on cuts. He never actually floored Hrgovic. As for Hrgovic's opponent, David Adeleye, 28 years old, the younger man, comes from Ladbroke Grove in West London. David Adeleye was a good amateur himself, although far more limited in terms of experience. He won the junior ABAs, he won the senior ABAs. He's represented England. He turned professional in 2019, and to date he's had 15 professional fights, 14 wins, 13 by KO. He had the one loss, which he suffered to Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley, I think, stopped him in 7 rounds back in October of 2023. But David Adeleye, what can I say about him in terms of his strengths? First and foremost, he's a confident guy, talks a lot, likes to engage in trash talk. He's a big, strong guy, hard puncher, powerful guy. I think the left hook is his best punch, and he could take you out with one punch. So yeah, he's a very powerful guy. Likes to apply pressure, explosive, sort of athletic type of guy. Looks to start fast when he's at his best. I noticed in his previous fight with Jamie TKV, that controversial fight, which ended when David Adeleye knocked out Jamie TKV, but I think the punch was thrown after the referee had said break. But anyway, in that fight, I noticed that David Adeleye started somewhat pretty slow. And I don't think that was a good look for him. I think he's better when he's on the front foot and he's advancing and he's looking to let his hands go. And I think you'll need to do that against Hrgovic. I don't think he can afford to concede too much ground or start slow. So he needs to be explosive. He does have that in his repertoire, so you need to deploy that. And I think it's a question of whether David Adeleye's power can overcome Hrgovic's greater experience and Hrgovic's very, very good chin. I think that is the central question of this fight. I mean, Adeleye has shown that he can knock people out, albeit at a lower level. But yeah, he will need to look to land early and clean if he's to get the job done. In terms of a prediction, I've got to admit, when this fight was first mentioned, I was kind of surprised that David Adeleye and his team took this fight. I mean, you would have to say, looking at the two fighters, that David Adeleye, in terms of experience, is way beneath what Hrgovic has done so far. David Adeleye, like I said, prior to this fight, he's only boxed at British level. And the one time he really did step up, he was beaten, and beaten quite comprehensively, by Fabio Wardley. And even in his last fight with Jamie TKV, he was struggling to make an impression until he landed that big punch. I would say he was losing the fight up until the controversial incident when he landed a big left-hand hook. So yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that I'm surprised that they took the fight, because I thought it was a bit early in David Adelaye's career. I think he could have done with a few more fights to kind of take him up to that next level. But, you know, obviously David Adeleye and his team, namely Adam Boob, his manager, they believe they've seen something in Hrgovic that they can exploit. And let's be honest, Hrgovic has flattered to deceive on previous occasions. He's also been guilty, I think, of being overconfident in his fights. I mean, we saw that with Daniel Dubois. He was quite dismissive of Daniel Dubois, his skill set and stuff like that. Spoke down on Daniel Dubois repeatedly before the fight, and look how that ended up. And I've got to say that in this fight with Adeleye, Hrgovic has been equally dismissive, something he tends to do. I mean, he's quite an entertaining guy to listen to, Philip Hrgovic. He's got these dulcet tones, but he does come out with a few good one-liners. But anyway, he has been dismissive of David Adeleye in the lead up to this fight. Now, could that overconfidence cost him? I mean, it did cost him to a large degree against Daniel Dubois. Will history repeat itself against David Adeleye? Who knows? But I would also say, on that note, is that I also detect that Philip Hrgovic is focused for this fight, despite his confidence. He's teamed up with Abel Sanchez, who is a very, very good trainer. Abel Sanchez, trainer of Triple G. So a very wily, very experienced, very knowledgeable trainer who's been around the block, who knows what it takes to take a fighter to the top. Actually, Abel Sanchez was the trainer of one of my favourite all-time fighters, Terry Norris. So yeah, the man's got, he's knee-deep in the game. But anyway, back to this fight. Yeah, so is Hrgovic is he overconfident? Is he overlooking David Adeleye? Is he being dismissive to the point where it could catch him slipping? Who knows? Because if he does go in there and he's not focused, David Adeleye has the kind of power that will, make him regret that. But I've got to be honest, in terms of the two fighter skill set, you would have to say that Philip Hrgovic is clearly the more skilled fighter. He's the more experienced fighter. He's got a hell of a chin. And I think that those attributes do make him a firm favourite. I mean, I would like to say David Adeleye win. He's a British fighter. I've actually met David Adeleye once in Westfield, had a little conversation with him. Seemed like a cool guy. And I remember at that time, this was a few years ago now, very early on in his career, and I was saying to him, listen, man, I wish you all the best, hope you go all the way. And he said, yeah, man, I'm on it. And yeah, he always struck me as a confident guy, and it does come over in the way he carries himself. But anyway, he'll need to be on the top of his form in this fight. I do think he's up against it. I think if Hrgovic is fit and focused and has come to win, which he says he is, then I think this could be a very difficult night for David Adeleye because, as I said before, Hrgovic is the more skilled at this point in their careers. He's also far more experienced. Like I said, he's got an excellent chin. So you would have to make Hrgovic a firm favourite, which I do. As much as I'd like Adeleye to win, I do think that Hrgovic will get the job done. I think it could be a late stoppage round about rounds 9 and 10, where I just think his greater class will tell. But listen, who knows? I mean, David Adeleye, like I said before, big puncher, believes in himself. He's got a good coach as well in Adam Booth. Let's hope he can, conduct himself well, and it's a great fight. And yeah, he does the business. But that's my prediction. Love to know what you guys think. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching this video. Really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, you know the drill. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.